This is the business. This is the business, and y'all ain't getting nothing for free.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy, The Business, coming back at you live for the NFL WildCard Playoff Show. Today, I'm bringing on Gavin. I know I haven't been on in a while. Actually, I haven't been on since the Super Bowl of last year when he and I did a show. And we have been talking about like possibly coming back on. We wanted to do the NCAA, the College Football Playoff Show, but we didn't have time to put it all together. So we had a little bit of time. He and I had discussed coming on to the wild card show and doing one for the wild card, and we were excited to do so. So, yeah, you know, that was what we're going to talk about today. We're going to go into some things, talk about the show itself, talk about the playoffs, all the different games that are coming up. We're kind of super excited to talk about it, let you guys know what we think. Some of the deciding factors in the game and our predictions, and kind of go over what it is that we think is going to happen. So with that being said, the business, let's be real, begins now.
Hello.
What's up, man? Welcome back. We're back for another show here on the business. Let's be real. You know, I know you're excited to be on here, talking about the NFL WildCard
Yeah.
weekend. You know, this is a pretty big weekend. I know everybody loves to, you know, watch these games. They're excited for these games. You know, there's a few teams that quietly made it into this playoff. And we're going to talk about all that, you know, and I know you're excited. So what are your thoughts about just, you know, this playoff weekend and how it's going to go?
I'm really excited, and I think it's going to be a crazy weekend. Like, there's going to be some upsets, and there's going to be some, like, obvious wins. But I can't wait until the weekend, and the first game starts in an hour, so.
Yeah. We're excited for that game. If you can't tell, you know, he and I are both browned out. We rock our Browns gear. We enjoy our Browns. You know, we live not far from Tampa, so we are Tampa fans. We do represent for them Bucks as well. We enjoy them Bucks, and we're going to talk about them too because they got one of our former Browns boys that. We're happy that he's here, and we're excited that he's actually getting a chance to come out here and get to play his game. So, you know, I guess we're going to go ahead, Bubba, and get started. We're going to talk about this first game, this first matchup that we got up coming on here, 4:30 p.m. today, the Cleveland Browns at the Houston Texans. I'm going to go ahead and let you give a little bit of insight on what it is that you think that game is going to look like.
As you know, we played the Texans early in the season. Amari Cooper had an amazing game, obviously. We have to hope that again, if they're gonna win, we have to hope that that Amari Cooper's gonna go off, David Njoku's gonna play amazing, because last time they didn't have C.J. Stroud, the best rookie in the NFL by far, probably. Yeah, by far. He's the best rookie. He's winning Rookie of the Year. Him or Puka Nacua, which we'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't know if CJ can. Like, the Browns defense might be too good. That's the deciding point. If C.J. Stroud can do good against this Browns defense, then the Texans will win. But if the Browns defense holds them, then the Browns will win. And same thing with the offense. Joe Flacco needs to have a good game. So.
Yeah. You know, I'm on that same route as far as. You know, CJ, they played just earlier in the season, like you said, and CJ was actually going through concussion protocol, and Case Keenum played for him that game, and you know, Case didn't have a very good game against that Browns defense. That Browns defense is one of the highest ranked defenses in the NFL right now.
Yeah, they have the least points scored in the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah. And they have, the most turnovers at 37 against the Houston Texans, who have the least amount of turnovers with 14. A lot of that has to do with CJ Stroud and the way he plays the game. He's very smart. He does, have some trouble with, man coverage. So he's going to have a little bit of a problem with the Browns defense and the way they will attack him, because they know that he has some issues with that. So I think that that's going to be their way to get to him. They're going to know that he's young. They're going to give him some looks that he probably hasn't seen yet, and attack him. And that's the way that you're going to have to beat Houston, is by attacking CJ Stroud and making him, be, cautious on how and where he goes. I think that the Houston Texans defense won't be able to match up with us the same way. Like you said, Amari's probably going to have a good game. David Njoku's been really, really playing well with Joe Flacco. Joe likes his tight end play. He does have a good tight end in David Njoku, who's now, made it to the Pro Bowl. Hopefully.
He did. He made it.
I'm saying, hopefully he stays healthy enough to continue to go in and play. He is a physical specimen. I don't know if anybody's ever seen Njoku in person, but he is a big guy. He did have some issues with a little bonfire session that he had earlier in the season. Gavin and I watched the story about all that, and it was kind of crazy. But yeah, I think that it's going to be a good matchup. I think if CJ is able to slow the game down, he's going to have some, good shots that he'll be able to take. I just don't know if he's going to be able to do that against this defense. There's some other defenses that he can do that against, but this Cleveland defense, that's going to be a tough one. So, what's your predictions of this game?
Well, I think the score is going to be I think it's 24-12 will be the final score.
Okay.
Browns win. But what? Yeah, 24-12 Browns win, I think. And shout out to CJ Stroud. He's a Buckeye, so of course we love him, but he's going against the Browns. So.
That's right. Well, I'm going to go with Cleveland as well, hoping that Cleveland's team all around can get out there and do what they do. Don't sleep on Houston. They may be young now. They may not get this win, but they're going to be somebody to deal with in these playoffs in the future. They're going to really be rocking and rolling. They're very happy with the decision they made by getting CJ. I know that they were prepared to take Bryce if needed be, but they got lucky, and the Panthers took Bryce and didn't take CJ, and CJ fell right into their lap, and that worked out for them. So go ahead.
And as you can see, Bryce is not doing good in the NFL. And the good thing about the Texans are young, and like you said, they're gonna be back in these playoffs. And the surprising thing is that the Jags aren't in these playoffs, that the Texans beat them in the division. That surprised me. I didn't think that was gonna happen. They choked away the division. I was like, dang. But Trevor did get hurt late in the season, so.
Yeah. He was dealing with that high ankle sprain and kind of pushing. So, that was tough for him. But, I thought the Texans did well overall. It's going to make for a good game. I got Browns going 28-21. All right, tonight's game. I know you're excited about that game. I know you'll be watching it probably on your phone.
Yeah, I'll be at the fair.
Yeah, it's but I'll be watching it. It's Miami versus Kansas City tonight, 8 p.m. What are some of your thoughts about that game? Because I know we were talking about the weather earlier, and I know that's going to come up. But what are your thoughts on the game?
Well, my thoughts are like amazing offenses, both of them, amazing offenses. The defense is not so much. It's gonna be an offensive shootout, personally, in my opinion. But like I was saying, the weather, -30 degrees, wind chills, which is the coldest game I think they were saying of all time. Which, oh my gosh, that's cold. That's cold playing a football game. And I don't know. Like it's gonna be an offensive shootout for sure. Tyreek Hill is gonna need to have an amazing game. I don't know if Jalen Waddle's gonna play. I know he was questionable, but I think it's gonna be a game time decision. Travis Kelce's gonna have to have a good game. Kansas City really doesn't have any wide receivers, so Patrick's gonna need Travis Kelce to have an amazing game. That's what I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's exactly what you're saying. I think it's going to definitely be an offensive shootout. They've played earlier in the season, and Tyreek didn't have a very good game against them. I think he's looking forward to going back to Kansas City and being able to get off on this Kansas City team and kind of show them that they should have try to pay him some more money to keep him. Um, Travis Kelce has been slipping the past couple of weeks. He hasn't been the same player. Um, he needs to refocus and get back on his game. I think that with him being a more focused point of this offense for Kansas City, they'll be able to move down the field a little bit more decisively. Their running game has always been pretty good in Kansas City because of the fact that they have that tight end play. They do have a couple of receivers. It's not going to be so easy for them, but it's going to be a little bit harder, I think, on Miami going up into this weather. They're not used to that. These Florida boys have been living down here for the past 6-8 months, if not longer, for some of them that have made this their lifestyle home. And it's going to be tough. I think it's going to be tough for Miami to come in and deal with that weather because it's not easy when you're used to this, hot, humid air. And in Florida, it's not that hot right now. It's actually pretty nice. But to go from being nice to that freezing weather and with the wind chill, like you said, being as cold as it is, it's going to be freezing out there.
Yeah, and
So go ahead.
and I'm like they're playing in Arrowhead. No Miami fan is going to that game. Like, what Miami fan is going to a -30 game? You're from Miami. You don't know how that is. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's gonna be tough for Miami to win that game.
Yeah. All right. Go ahead with your predictions on who you think and what the score.
I think the score is gonna be 35, 45. Kansas City is gonna win.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'll probably go somewhat towards the same route, like I did for the Cleveland game, only because of the fact that I don't think it's going to be as high scoring because of this weather problem. I think it's going to be a 21-14 battle. They're going to be grinding out to get into those touchdowns. But I think that the Chiefs are going to pull it out only based on the fact that the weather is going to be crappy. Neither one of these teams are really kind of impressing me towards the end of the season. Kansas City's Kansas City, though. They're the champs. You're not going to just knock them off without it being a fight. I haven't been that impressed with Miami and the way they ended the season. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. And but I'll be watching it. I'll be excited to watch it. I have no dog in that fight, so either way is fine with me.
I think that about that game. Hold on, I just forgot what I was gonna say. Never mind. Just you can go on to the next
Okay.
thing.
Okay. No, you're good. All right, we're going to talk about tomorrow's games. The Green Bay Packers at the Dallas Cowboys. I know you got some insight into that game. If you want, go ahead. You can talk about it.
It's gonna be really hard for Green Bay to come into Dallas Stadium and win because Dallas is 8-0. playing at home this season. So I really don't think Green Bay. And the thing is with Green Bay is sneaky. Like, that's one of the sneaky teams me and my dad were talking about, that we didn't think we're gonna make the playoffs because their team is young. With Jordan Love, his first year starting at quarterback, because he had Aaron Rodgers ahead of him. But I don't know. It's going to be tough for Green Bay to pull it out because of Dallas's home record, and they're playing at home. And all those Dallas fans are going to come out for that game. So,
yeah. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's going to be really quite a shootout. In this game, it's going to feature the quarterbacks who are ranked first and second in the NFL in touchdown passes this season. Prescott had 36. Love had 32. Both backers, running backs, Aaron Jones for the Cowboys and Tony Pollard, will hopefully top 100 yards in this game. And Pollard is coming off his second consecutive 100,000 yard season. Like, his 1,000 yards is not easy to get in the NFL. And, to do that in multiple years and consecutive years, is a testament to what it is that Pollard can do. But I like to see what Aaron Jones can do too. Like, he's not going to go into Dallas and just get, trucked over too. That's going to be a really close game. I think, hopefully, we see something that we haven't seen yet. I think this may be one of those games that young team may be able to upset the Cowboys. We're going to have to sit back and watch. But Dallas has stayed steady all year long. They really haven't kind of fallen off. They've been able to do their thing. So, I think that, Dallas is going to be tough to beat at home. It's been a while since Dallas has been beaten at home. And so I think that they'll really have something to play for. And I think it's going to be a great game. So what are your predictions on score and who wins it?
What I was going to say about Tony Pollard, he took Zeke's spot. So, he has to be good. He has to be good. But Zeke wasn't performing good at that last year at Dallas. But he took Zeke's spot, which is amazing. Yeah. I think it's gonna be a good game. I know a lot of people are sleeping on this Green Bay team, and they have no chance against Dallas. I think they have a chance, but I don't think they're gonna win this game. I think they'll be back eventually. But I think Dallas is gonna win. 28-21, Dallas wins.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think, like you said, I think Green Bay is going to be a good young up-and-coming team. We're going to see them a lot of times in the playoffs. Now that Jordan Love is able to play, he has that, that monkey off his back of Aaron Rodgers, and they finally have cut him loose and let him play the game. He's going to be fun to watch. So, it's not going to be something that's going to be new to him here in a couple years. He's going to be that guy that's going to compete for many years to come. He's going to be fun to watch. Watching those young guys like him and CJ Stroud and knowing that they're the future of where this NFL is going to go. Super excited for that. I do like the Packers. I just don't like them yet in this game. I think it's going to be 34-24. Dallas. All right, let's cut to the next game, G. Next game is going to be the Rams at the Detroit Lions. Tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Matthew Stafford shows back up in Detroit.
You mean? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I know you want to get to Jared Goff and that he's getting that shot at the Rams after what they did to him, but, I'll let you go ahead and get into that.
So it's the game back for both of these quarterbacks. As you know, the Rams traded away Jared Goff for Matthew Stafford. They put Jared Goff in this terrible situation with this terrible Lions team, which was 3 years ago. Then because Jared Goff is younger, and me and you both thought that he was better than Matthew Stafford. We're like, this Matthew Stafford guy is not better than Jared Goff. And I think this season it really showed that Jared Goff isn't washed. He's still good. He's still got a couple more years left in him. Oh, yeah. And I just feel like after he took them to the Super Bowl, like 2018, 2017, whatever year that was, I was like, he took you to a Super Bowl. Like you can't, like why'd they get rid of him? You know what I mean? And then they trade him to Detroit. Like that's like giving someone like leaving them to die kind of thing. Like it's Detroit. Like and then I'm happy now that he's getting his redemption game. And I really hope he comes in to I really hope he crushes the Rams and he wins kind of thing. Like I hope it happens.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, I think that Detroit the city of Detroit's going to be super excited for this game. This is going to be the first time they're in the playoffs, especially a playoff game at home. Not in the playoffs, but a playoff game at home since '93. So that's pretty big for them. I think they're going to be excited that Matthew's coming back in for this playoff game. It's kind of bittersweetness that they're getting to play him for it. Jared Goff deserves a shot at these Rams now. I think that they've built up a team now around him that they're going to prove that, it was the same situation in LA. He was a good quarterback. He could have continued to lead them, and they didn't give him that chance. And I think that wasn't a fair shake to Jared Goff because I thought that he was a good quarterback at that time. Physically, at that time when they traded for Matthew Stafford, I thought Matthew Stafford was a little bit later in his years, not physically capable. He did get the job done the following year, but I think a lot of that was with his mind and with the talent that he had around him with Cooper Kupp and
OBJ.
those guys. Yeah. OBJ came in, and late in that season because that was when he left Cleveland. And he just, and since then Stafford's kind of still showing his age. It's going to be hard for this game to kind of develop. I think for the Rams, they do have Puka Nacua, who's huge for them. Now he's been able to take some of the brunt for Cooper Kupp because Cooper Kupp just really hasn't been that same player since that season. And I think that Puka Nacua is going to be a big difference maker for the Rams. If anybody's going to get off, it's going to be him. That'll be the deciding factor. But I don't know. This Detroit Lions team is good. They're set and ready to roll, and they couldn't have matched up in a better situation than to face off against the Los Angeles Rams with a chance to take a shot at Matthew Stafford and the Rams. Go ahead, give your predictions on the game and final score.
Yeah, like we were saying, Puka Nacua's amazing season. Sadly, it's the same season as CJ Stroud. So sadly, he probably won't win Rookie of the Year, but you never know.
Yeah.
So and my game prediction has to be I'm gonna say 28-34. Detroit takes it here.
Okay. Yeah, I'm on that Detroit board as well. I think that this is going to be one of those games that people kind of overlook. Same way with Cleveland and Detroit always have kind of gotten a bad rap. And I think that Detroit's going to get it done today or tomorrow when they play. It's going to be a fun game to watch. But I do think it's going to come down to, those last drives. And I think that Detroit's going to win it, and I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a 28-24 game. Detroit Lions win. All right, let's move on to the next game. The Monday games. They have one playing early in Buffalo. It's going to be that Pittsburgh Steelers team against the Buffalo Bills. Monday at 4:30. Talk to me about that one.
Well, as you know, that game got delayed to 4:30 because of the weather. I heard there's a lot of snow in Buffalo right now. It's like really bad up there. I think it's gonna be a similar environment to the Kansas City Miami game. Like a lot of snow. It's gonna be pretty cold up there. But But instead of Miami, it's Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh's used to that. They're used to the cold because they live up there too. And those Pittsburgh people will travel for their team. They're one of the biggest teams in the NFL, besides the Patriots, probably. And I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to be this Steelers team who no one really thought was going to make the playoffs, with Mason Rudolph at quarterback, Kenny Pickett getting hurt. Mason Rudolph, I know I get helmet to the head again by Myles Garrett. But Mason Rudolph, he led this team to the playoffs with George Pickens, and they've been doing really good the last couple of weeks. They snuck into the playoffs, barely, but they snuck into it. Then this Buffalo team beat Miami for the division, which surprised a lot of people because Buffalo, halfway through the season, they didn't even have a winning record, I don't think.
No.
And then from week 11 to now, they've gone like 7-1. They've been doing really good. Buffalo's been doing really good. So has the Steelers. And I think it's gonna come down to like if Mason Rudolph chokes. If he doesn't choke, then they have a chance. But if he does, then Buffalo will win. So yeah.
Yeah. No. It's gonna definitely be a good game. Pittsburgh is kind of funny because, like you said, nobody expected them to make it, and they quietly crept in, got into the playoffs, and make something happen. And they're always something to deal with. Everybody talks about Buffalo and Buffalo's offense and how good it can be, always based around the Josh Allen thing. If Josh Allen doesn't, throw interceptions and make mistakes and but that's part of the game. If you're not pushing to try to win, you're not, you're not playing the game. And I like that about Josh. Does he make a lot of mistakes? Yeah, he does. And that's part of it, So it's like, I get that that's going to be the one that kind of is tough to decide between. I think that Pittsburgh's going to have a problem defensively, not getting the same pressure. TJ Watt's out for this game, so that's going to be a big difference for the defense for Pittsburgh because he's big on causing a lot of pressure, pushing that offensive line back, forcing some things to happen. And if Josh is looking across the line and he's not seeing TJ there, that's a big factor for him. I think that he will be able to let it rip a little bit more, attack that side of the field more because of that fact. So, it'll be a good game to watch. The weather's going to be atrocious, probably still up there. But like you said, Pittsburgh's from the north, so it's not going to be as big of a, shell shock for them to go into Buffalo and deal with that. So I think it's going to be a good game. I'll be excited to watch it. But yeah, so I'll go ahead. I'll throw the prediction out first on this one for this game. I think Buffalo is going to win this one. It's going to be an ugly, ugly game. But Buffalo wins 21-10.
So I know I'm a Browns fan, but I'm going for the upset on this one. I just feel like I need an upset in one of my picks, and I feel like this is going to be one of my upsets. I feel like Pittsburgh is going to somehow win this game. I feel like Josh Allen's turnovers might cost them the game, and Mike Tomlin is a pretty good coach. So I'm going with Pittsburgh 10-7. It's going to be a defensive battle. Even though TJ Watt's not there, give me Pittsburgh on this one.
Okay. Yeah. No, Tomlin is a great coach. I know he's been in Pittsburgh for years, and we've had to watch him, torch our Browns for many years, but that's okay. You got to respect the guy. Good guy, good, humble guy, and, wish the best for him. So hopefully, maybe, we'll go opposite ways on this one, and we'll see. We'll see what that game leads to.
Yeah.
All right. Final game of the weekend, my guy. It's going to be the matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers tomorrow night, 8:15, or Monday night actually, 8:15. A lot of people are going to keep their eye on this one. So I'll go ahead and let you talk about it. We'll shoot it, and then we'll give the predictions. Go ahead, bud.
Philadelphia has choked. They have been terrible at the end of the season. Like, oh my gosh, like they have been atrocious at the end of the season, have lost to some really bad teams. They had basically had the division on locks, and then they gave it to the Cowboys. And as you've seen, the Cowboys have been playing really good the second half of the season, and the Eagles have not. And A.J. Brown is injured. A.J. Brown is one of the best receivers in the NFL. So if he's not there, that's a big factor. And they've been losing a lot of games recently. That's big. And then you have Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts, his finger is all messed up. Like, I don't even know if he's gonna play. I don't think they've even said if he's locked on this game yet. But they have to, because like if he doesn't play, they're losing. Like, they're losing this game if he doesn't play. And I mean they're probably losing. They have no offense. I mean they have Devontae Smith, and they have the running back game is pretty good too.
Yeah.
And then, but Tampa Bay has Mike Evans. Mike Evans is really good. People sleep on Mike Evans, but Mike Evans is really good. They have Baker, former Brown. Baker has been doing really good this season. He was doing really good early season. He fell off a little bit midway, and then he's caught back up at the end of the season. And I think it's really gonna come down to if Jalen Hurts plays or not. So yeah. And then the Eagles' defense is really good too. But same thing with the Bucs. The Bucs don't have a terrible defense either. So yeah, you can go nuts now.
Okay. Yeah. I think that, like you said, the Eagles are coming off a bad roll at the end of the season. They did lose 5 of their last 6 at the end of the season, while the Bucs won 5 of the last 6. That's going to be a big difference. I think the Bucs have a lot of momentum going into the playoffs. Baker is a little bit banged up. He does have a rib injury and an ankle injury that he's dealing with. But like you said, Jalen's dealing with the finger issue. And I don't know if you saw that when it happened. He was throwing the ball, I think, and slapped the guy's hand on the way down, and it bent the finger, and it was pretty nasty. It was pretty well dislocated, and since then it's been hard for him to kind of grip a ball. He didn't practice until late in the week. If Tampa's able to blitz him and cause him some trouble, he's had issues with the blitz. He'll have some issues with it this weekend. I think that Tampa is going to really come after him. Philly's in the playoffs, though. However it may look, and they had an issue getting into the playoffs. They're there now, and it's a whole fresh start for everybody. So it's going to be good to watch. I think that it's a great way to wrap up WildCard weekend. I think that it's going to be a really fun game. So, I'll be watching it closely. I know that, Gavin and I both know a lot of Philly fans that cheer for them. So, we understand why, the Philly hype is what it is. They are a very good team. They just, like I said, fell into a little bit of a slump towards the end of the season. But like I said, it's the playoffs. So now it's a new day. We'll see what they got against a team that's kind of steamrolling into the playoffs with this Bucs team, and with Baker, who's fun to watch. Mike Evans is going to shred it. Jared White's going to come out playing. So the Bucs are going to be there, and it's going to be fun, and it's going to be a good game. So go ahead with your predictions.
I think it's going to be a really good game. It's going to be if the Philly defense shows up, the Philly wins. But you have to think they don't have AJ, and they might not have Jalen, but I think that the final score will be 24-21. Give me Tampa Bay.
That's who I'm going with too, honestly. Yeah, I'll be real about it. It's not just being a homer and being here and living in the Tampa Bay area. I think that, like I said, I think Tampa's on a good roll going into this playoff. Philly is in trouble. They have a lot of issues. Uh, you know, Jason Kelsey is not happy with his play right now. He was considering retiring. I don't know if he'll go out on that note of losing in the wild card round, but he's getting close to retirement. He's a great player, great ambassador for the sport. Always been fun to watch. I think that he knows he's got an outlet now with the brother, with the podcast, and they're able to do their own thing and have fun. And so I think Philly's going to have a tough time going into Tampa and playing in a game where Tampa is going to be really, really, really dogging it out. Excited to be in the playoffs with somebody, especially like Baker, leading them. Baker's fun to watch. Baker's fun to play with. He's fun to cheer for. We know when he was in Cleveland, he was fun. He just got a bad rap. Once Deshaun came, they were ready to move on from him. But that doesn't discredit the player that Baker is. And I think that Baker is going to be there in the playoffs, excited, ready to play. While the Eagles are going to be angry, but I just don't know if they're going to be, in that play mode to where they're going to be good enough to contest with this Bucs team that's really, really on a roll. So I'm going to go with that. With that being said, I think this game is going to be another close one, though. I don't think Philly's going to let them just run away with it, which is, kind of the anthem of the weekend. Nobody's gonna. I don't think you're gonna see any blowouts of the weekend. But this one's gonna be close. I think it's gonna be another 28-24 game. Tampa Bay.
Let's go, Tampa.
So yeah, that's our game talk and predictions for this wild card weekend. We're excited. We're excited to get watching. We got this Browns game coming up here shortly. I hope all of you guys are going to be watching that game and excited to watch that game and watch the start of the wild card weekend. This is actually a real good wild card weekend of games to watch. So I hope that you guys are all watching. And I'm gonna go ahead and let Gavin say his final words and kind of get you ready maybe for next weekend. We'll come on here again, buddy, and rip it up for him.
Yeah, we'll come up here. We'll come here next weekend. Win or loss for the Browns. We'll be back next weekend. I'm just happy that I was on the show this week. Thank you. I really hope that we'll be back on next week and go dog pound and let's go Browns. Come on.
All right, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Sorry, everyone. I meant to remove him off the stage. Okay, we're excited for the games. We'll be back hopefully next week. If I'm able to get things together, we'll try to kick it off again for you guys for the next round of the playoffs. He and I love talking about this stuff. We do it all week long. We're just ripping and roaring and kind of going at it about who we think and how teams looked over the weekend and who's hurt and who's not. And, if that's going to be a deciding factor and what the weather's looking like. And, so that's kind of just what we do all day. We just bond over sports. He and I have a very close bond about this. We do love football. We love baseball. We love basketball. We love talking about it all. And we like bringing it to you guys, and I know it's been a while since I've been on and but I'm going to try to bring it back. He's going to probably break off and kind of do his own little podcast sometimes too, as well. He's going to talk about different things with video gaming, sports and all the sports he does and some of the things he has going on with youth groups and doing retreats and stuff like that for church. And he's going to take you kind of inside of his life and kind of let you know about what it is that he does every day. And it's pretty cool adventure of a kid. We're also going to bring Gianna on sometimes. She probably won't talk about the football thing with us because she's not a huge football fan. She does like other sports. She loves talking about wrestling. It's been a while. She's got some things that she's about to do here in the future. She's going to start up her own YouTube page and kind of get that going. And she'll be excited for that. And she'll be excited to come on here and talk about that and kind of prelude to everyone what it is that she's doing and, why she's going to break off and do her own thing and what it is she's going to be doing on that page. Excited for NFL WildCard this weekend. Hope you guys are too. I appreciate you guys coming out and watching. But with that being said, the business, let's be real. WildCard weekend ends now.